I'm not saying that every DJ is a narcissist. But I think what I am saying is that it has benefited a lot of people's careers to be one. And the amount and type of attention that we're giving to DJs nowadays is part of the fuel of what I call the DJ God complex. Today we're gonna dissect some factors as to why the feeds get more and more cluttered with medium-scale DJs staring down crowds with a gaze that resembles depictions of Jesus. We're gonna work our way from within the DJ's mind towards a bit of an analysis of the culture around DJing. I'm still a rookie myself, but after a few years in the Berlin and international DJ bubble, I have noticed some patterns. One of them is that many of the DJs I meet fall into the archetype of a person that wasn't necessarily very popular in their school days. Maybe because they were nerdy or geeky about music, arts, or a little bit techie. But ultimately, fast forward a few years later, the people are playing big clubs, thousands of people, and getting very intense rushes, intense doses of validation and attention, which might offset deficits that have developed from their younger days. Yes, uncle. Oh yes, uncle. Yes, both. So over time, the DJ might begin to rely on these instances of intense validation and seek the sense of significance that they didn't have in their youth. And like any addiction, the tolerance to these sensations gets higher and higher. And they seek for even more intense moments and bigger crowds until some sort of God tier is reached. And that's why DJing successfully or competitively is to be handled with a lot of caution. And like for everyone, it's important to put in the lifelong work to just be an all-round good person, innit? Also, the artsy and nerdy archetype are by no means the only gateway into this spiral. There's enough people that see DJing as a bit of a fast train to godlike sensations. Deutsche Bahn oder was? The amount of positive feedback and worship that you get from DJing is abnormal. And it's so much easier obtained than, say, if you're a rock star or an athlete. And I do still give credit to the fact that DJing is very taxing on the nerves and all the traveling and stuff. It does have its impact on the body. Chapter number 2, character creation and role-playing. The DJ has shifted from being a pure selector of music to becoming an all-round persona. Why is that? DJing has become very accessible, which is a wonderful thing. But now, in order to stand out in this oversaturated game, success-oriented DJs have to distinguish themselves by more than just the music. Especially because it can't be expected from the broader masses to be tapped into the culture enough to be understanding musical nuances to the point where they can distinguish the DJs on the lineup by their micro niche that is very apparent to the DJ, but not necessarily to the audience. Then, very importantly, role-playing is a quite effective tool for making the experience more immersive, more impressive. And it makes a significant difference if I wear like a chill cap, for example, versus sunglasses and a fur coat. which has never happened. The f is this? What? Whoa. Easy. Whoa, 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 whoa. Easy now. I was saying that I myself do conscious decisions when it comes to character creation. But sometimes I also don't care, which is also character though, and which also has its influence on how the set is going to be perceived. And outside the booth, these persona get reinforced because most of us use socials as our primary tool to promote ourselves. And the way we choose to portray our off-duty life, it has an influence on how people perceive us while we're on duty. So in effect, the DJ set is not reduced to its, 60 minutes of mixing tunes in a DJ booth anymore. Anything I do in real life can now be used to promote my DJ sets. And even me making this video will have an effect on how people perceive my craft. But I don't want to overthink that. So over time, this has fed into a culture where the person behind the decks is more celebrated than the music itself. It's become a tough balancing act for the DJs to identify with the music they play as opposed to the hyper-real persona that they created.